So today I've got a double chain stitch tutorial for you. I'm using two different colours so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing, and I'm using 4 strands of each colour again, so it's a bit easier to see what's going on. So for the start of this row, what I'm just going to do is one sort of detached chain stitch. I'm going to be working it in reverse because working this one not in reverse is just too complicated. So then I'm taking the second colour and doing another one slightly staggered from the first one that I did. And what you're going to find is that each colour needs to interlock with itself, not with the colour before. So then I'm also going to take this paler green and I'm going to start working backwards now. So I'm going to come up after the dark green and then through the paler green and through the dark green, and then I'm going to take it back down again as you would for normal reverse chain. So I've gone through 2 stitches, not 1, which is why it's called double chain stitch. So now I'm going to take the darker green again and I'm going to come up a little way along again to lengthen the row, and I'm going to come underneath the dark green and the previous light green stitch. So always make sure that the first colour interlocks with itself and the second colour interlocks with itself, and you will be fine. It's like working 2 lines of chain stitch on top of one another at the same time. So you just carry on in this way till the end of the row that you want to stitch. My advice would be to make sure you are holding the thread of the opposite colour out of the way as you do your stitching, because it is quite easy to get tangled behind the piece. But you've just got to work out a way to do it. It's certainly much easier with a stand. I would not attempt this stitch if I wasn't using a stand, because I need both hands to hold the thread out of the way. It's obviously much easier to see what I'm doing because I'm using 4 strands of thread. I would normally not use this many strands of thread for any stitch, but it does look quite nice for double chain stitch because if you use less strands they merge into one another and you can't really see the distinction as well. So I'm just coming to the end of the row here, and essentially what you're going to do is just finish it off as you would any other row of reverse chain stitch, but you're going to do it twice. So I'm just going through the previous green stitch and going down, and then I'm not really leaving a gap when I come up with the darker green, because it's not necessary, because what you want to do is end the row, not carry it on. So not really leaving much of a gap, and then going back through the last dark green stitch and then just back down again. So I mean, you could just finish it at any point in the row. So I hope that was a bit of an interesting one and you find that helpful. I'm going to try using a lot of different stitches, so there'll be more tutorials to come.